out well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, May 15th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by the compañera this morning. We got the lovely Grace Monroe, and all you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, how you feeling this morning? Ooh, I hit the wrong one. I need to hit that. Because I got the cards too.
Which one is that?
Too. This is when they hit the back-to-back home run, Goldmith, Bellinger, and Judge.
Cool. I ordered a t-shirt online, and I told the guy, let me know if you get a Stanton jersey or something, like I want one. And he sent me a Giancarlo Stanton card with my order. So I was like, yes, thank you. Anyway, let me tell you a little something.
Go ahead.
I woke up turned this morning, okay? Hector already knows. Hector sent me the link. I clicked the link. He's like, good morning, Grace. Like, we're backstage. And I came out firing, ready to go. What did I say, Hector? What? Oh, I said, I am ready to shit on Juan Soto. And I was like, let's talk about the Subway Series. You know what? It's fair game now. We have been good all season. We've kept his name. We've kept his name out of our mouth for the most part. We really have.
We behaved.
But guess what? It is no longer time to behave, okay? Because the Mets are coming to the Bronx. You know, Mariners series is done. We got a day off. And then tomorrow it is Subway Series rivalry weekend. And it's time to bring up these Juan Soto stats. And if y'all have not looked at his stats, like I haven't looked at his stats, I've not been keeping up with him. He's none of my business. But I looked up his stats this morning, and y'all are going to be shocked. I have them here. We're ready to go.
Go ahead.
Right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, y'all. So I got some stuff to say. Like, this is the Mets preview show, right? The Mets series preview show. We may touch on the series conclusion last night a little bit, but for the most part, we're going to talk about the Mets coming to the Bronx this weekend. We're going to look forward, okay? But I went on and I looked up Juan Soto's stats this morning. Mm-hmm. And y'all buckle up, okay? Juan Soto coming home to the Bronx is the big story this weekend, right? He had a day off. They gave him a day off to mentally prepare for what he's going to have to endure this weekend in his return to Yankee Stadium. And yeah, here's his numbers right here. Look, you already did it. Juan Soto versus Trent Grisham, okay? You got Juan Soto with a 255 average versus Trent Grisham with a 283 average. 380 OBP Juan Soto to 367 OBP Trent. Now Juan Soto has an elite eye, or so we thought. 380 for him is very low. Okay, I don't. That was shocking. Okay, so yeah, he's got Trent by just a little, photo finish there, but that's for him very bad. 465 slug versus 628 slug. Holy. 845 OPS versus 995 OPS. I love to see it. 8 home runs versus 12 home runs. 20 ribbies versus 22 ribbies. And 73. What is that total? What is TB?
Total bases. Total
bases. 73 total bases versus 71 total bases. And he's had 50 more at-bats than Trent Grisham. I looked this up. He's had 50 more at-bats than Trent Grisham in this small sample size that we're in by this point of the season in May. So that is shocking, okay? But I'm going to take you one further. Juan Soto this season so far has a 1.7 WAR, which is the same as Anthony Volpe. Juan Soto has a 380 OBP, which for him is low, but Paul Gold, and he had Trent Grisham on that number, right? But let me tell you, Paul Goldschmidt is sporting a 395 OBP right now. And Juan Soto's 143 OPS plus, Paul Goldschmidt has a 154. So Paul Goldschmidt was part of the pivot, right? Part of the offseason plan. We lost out on Juan Soto. We got Max Fried. We got Paul Goldschmidt, and we signed Trent Grisham to a small one-year deal. So this is part of the pivot. That's why I'm bringing it up. So, I mean, we're winning, y'all. We're definitely winning. Now, if you look at Paul Goldschmidt's numbers, this is what I was telling y'all on Tuesday. These numbers are like MVP level season that he's putting up right now. Unfortunately for him, Aaron Judge, who bats couple in front of him in the lineup, is doing everything better than him. So nobody's talking about Paul Goldschmidt's literal MVP level numbers because obviously there's Aaron Judge on the team. But let me say one thing, and I want your thoughts on this. So obviously we've presented all these numbers for Juan Soto. He's not having this type of season that he had last year in the Bronx or even his career numbers. He's having a little bit of a struggle right now. Now he signed this big contract. There's a lot going on in his life. There's a lot of pressure on him now. It's a different role than maybe he's ever been in before. So, okay, copy. But let me shift a little bit. I thought of this morning, and this is an idea, and I want your thoughts, Hector. Juan Soto coming back to Yankee Stadium this weekend has the chance, okay, to become one of the greatest Yankees villains of all time. If he stunts over this weekend, okay, then you're going to be saying, oh, the Yankees series puts Juan Soto on the right track. They knocked him back to being Juan Soto. If he comes into the Bronx and hits 3-4 home runs over 3 games and has RBIs and, just becomes this total heel, embraces the heel role, becomes the villain, becomes the mastermind, right? And then goes on his trajectory for the rest of the year, the boos, the F1 Soto chants, all that stuff will never end. If he has a bad series this weekend, I do believe that the Juan Soto boos, the F1 Soto chants, all that stuff will fade away over time. He was only in New York. He was only in the Bronx for 1 year.
Yeah.
I believe that they will fade away over time. But if he stunts out this weekend, it will never fade away. So it's going to be very interesting. What do you think, Hector?
I definitely agree with you. Shout out the chat as well. There was a message in the chat. Our friend Frank Luna, I just want to, my guy CK put it in the chat. Congratulations to our friend Frank Luna on his engagement to his long partner, Jill. They're amazing. I love them to death. If you guys can, congratulations to Frank Luna in the chat. Yes, CK, I appreciate you as well. And shout out the chat as well. I'm getting my take in a second. I forgot to shout out the chat when we first came in, so that's on me, Grace, not on you. So shout out to Theo Nosebleed Season. CT Cards is in the building.
Howdy.
Shout out to CT Cards. How you doing? Alex A is in the building. John the Beagle Dad. How you doing? Big Time Lou. What's good, Lou? Consigliere Joe is in the building. Delulu Yankee fan. How you doing? Mr. Sean Browning is in the building. My guy Ness. Jason Custodio. How you doing? Salute. 3 capital S's. Like always, guys, if you guys can, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers, just to let you guys know, we are sitting at 5,241 subscribers. We got an extra 20 subscribers from the last show, so we definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you to all you guys that are helping us grow. We appreciate all the new likes, all the new subscribers. But back to your comment about Juan Soto being this villain, or the return of Juan Soto to the Bronx. And I'm glad that you and I, we got a certain ESPN, a certain chemistry, right? You the bestie, right? This is why I love you so much. There's a clip that while you were talking, it was playing through my head. And I'm like, this is the moment that could be bigger than that moment. We remember, yes, Juan Soto was with us for 1 year. He signed with the Mets, who are crosstown rivals. I call them the little cousins to the New York Yankees, not even the little brothers, the little cousins, right? He signed with the Mets. So it stings a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. There was a player who was a former Yankee who left the Seattle Mariners for the Texas Rangers for the money. At the time, the biggest contract in sports history, just like Juan Soto now has the biggest contract in sports and Major League Baseball. They had the same agent, Mr. Scott Boras. They signed that contract at the same hotel the baseball winter meetings was at. This past winter meetings, the one that Grace and I was at, it was the same hotel that they made the announcement for Alex Rodriguez's historic contract as well. So there's this clip, and this clip right here, it's crazy to look at this. This looks like it's prehistoric. Like, I don't know how brainy this is, but I just want to play this real quick because.
And here's shortstop Alex Rodriguez. Swinging a ground ball to third.
This is what's going to happen in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yankee fans are going to boo Juan Soto. How big are they going to boo him? Are they going to boo him bigger than they booed Alex Rodriguez? I don't know. Could it be on the same level? I absolutely think it was, because there was one game that the Yankees played the Mets in spring training, and it was in Port St. Lucie. It was in the Mets minor league complex. And I got to tell you, Grace, that minor league complex, Port St. Lucie from the Yankees, they're like 3 to 4 hours apart, right? So you either had to go specifically to that game. You weren't traveling back and forth. If you are, you're a lunatic. But you had to specifically go to that game. And the way that Yankee fans showed up to let Juan Soto know how they feel, it's going to be very interesting and surprising this weekend was the noise that Yankee fans are going to make.
Yeah, the key is, right, A-Rod was good. A-Rod left, and after he left the Rangers, he won 2 more MVPs. He won the World Series, and he got booed for, incessantly, right? He was a hated guy, obviously because of the steroids, but also he was really good. And that pisses everybody off even more. Now, Juan Soto right now, his numbers, he's fine. Like he's fine. He's having a fine season. But he's not at that level of like David Ortiz hate, A-Rod hate, even Altuve hate, because those players killed us.
Yeah.
Those players killed us, and that made our hate grow. If Altuve didn't continuously beat up on the Yankees and continuously stay a Yankee killer year after year, he wouldn't still be getting booed. But he's getting booed, yes, because he cheated and knew what Aroldis Chapman was going to throw him, and he stole the World Series from us. But he also got booed after that because he kept being good. If Soto isn't good this weekend, I think the hate will fade. If he is, bro, buckle in. It's going to be a long career.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just laughing at Guillermo in the chat. That's my guy, Legion. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We reached out to some Mets content creators, and they were too scared to come on and talk about the Mets series that's coming up this weekend. If you missed the beginning of the show, Legion, we were saying how we haven't really talked about Juan Soto all year because we don't care, and he's none of our business. But since we're going to be facing him this weekend and we're previewing the upcoming series, we're talking about him today, and I looked up his numbers, and I was shocked because I haven't been keeping up. And these numbers, this is not the Juan Soto we knew. So this is what we're talking about right now. Yeah, we're playing Juan Soto this weekend, so we are talking about him.
Yeah, I just got to say, shout out to Big Ant NYC with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on right here, who said, if Met fans think Soto $50 million per year will be a yearly 40 home runs, 300 average, a Gold Glover, then Met fans are in for a rude awakening, right? So shout out to Big Ant for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Guillermo, for being in the building. Shout out to my guy Legion. Guys, make sure you guys go and follow Legion of Knicks podcast. He does amazing watch alongs with the New York Knicks, amazing content creator. When I first got started, me and Legion used to be up late night with Uncle Freezy talking about the Knicks. So shout out to my guy G-Mo, who was in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you like always for always showing love, always supporting, and popping in and out of our Yankee conversations just to troll a little bit. But shout out to my guy G-Mo. But no, this is the one thing I'm going to say, and I have been very consistent with it, Grayson. Hopefully you could say yes or no if I'm just blowing smoke up someone's, you know what. But when it comes to Juan Soto, right, I wanted the Yankees to re-sign Juan Soto. I was one of those Yankee fans that said, I don't care what it is, you go out there and you give him a blank checkbook, because I understand when it comes to Juan Soto and when it comes to the paradigm shift that's in New York City, the Mets going out there signing Juan Soto from the New York Yankees, that was a big move. That was a huge move this offseason, right? Any Yankee fan out there saying that it wasn't a big move, you're delusional, right? Shout out to Delulu Yankee fan in the chat, because I love that name, but not him, but you Yankee fan who doesn't think that was a big move, you're Delulu, because that was a big move when it comes to the sports in New York City, when it comes to the paradigm shift, when it comes to the power imbalance in New York and New York. What I will say on the flip side is seeing how Brian Cashman was able to pivot and turn Juan Soto into Max Fried, into Cody Bellinger, into Paul Goldmith, into Devin Williams, who has been pitching a lot better over his past few outings than when he first came with the New York Yankees. Jose Fernandez. It was a great pivot for Brian Cashman. I'm going to say that both moves, both teams needed to do. The Mets needed to sign Juan Soto. They needed to sign Juan Soto. The Yankees, unfortunately, they needed Juan Soto to walk away so they could fill out the rest of their team properly. Because if you have Juan Soto, you're not getting that production that Paul Goldschmidt is giving you at first base. If you have Juan Soto, I'm not even sure Max Fried is in the starting rotation. If you have Juan Soto, maybe you have Jose Fernandez, because maybe the Yankees go out there and trade for him because it was just Jose Trevino. But if you have Juan Soto, I don't think you have Cody Bellinger and you have Aaron Judge playing center field, getting more wear and tear on his body. I'm not sure if Aaron Judge is hitting over 400 if we have Juan Soto in the lineup, just because you're demanding more out of Aaron Judge, asking him to play center field. He's in right field. You're not asking that much of Aaron Judge. Just go after the balls, let Cody Bellinger be in center field or Trent Grisham be in center field, and we'll figure it out. Hell, we have Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham is looking like Trent Bonds out there for the New York Yankees. I'm not going to lie, the way that he has been playing. So both moves needed to happen. Shout out to my guy Guillermo with the $9.99 super chat, who says, salute to the panel. God bless. And thank you for Klay Holmes as well. Listen, I didn't know Klay Holmes was going to turn into Doc Roy Halladay out there for the New York Mets. But Klay Holmes, he has been pitching phenomenal. He has discovered that third pitch, that changeup, something that us Yankee fans, we were screaming for a long time. But he has turned himself into a solid pitcher with the Mets. So I think both off seasons was good for both teams.
You know what? That's a great point, and I love that you brought up that comment, because I was about to segue into Klay Holmes. But before I want to comment on that. That's okay.
Fernando Cruz.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Yeah, Fernando Cruz. Sorry, yeah.
He was cooking. We knew what you meant. But yeah, what I wanted to say was both teams are really good right now. Both the Yankees and the Mets are doing really well. Both teams are about 3 games up in their respective divisions. They're having great seasons, right? So you can't have a great season so far, right, without having a good offseason. So the Mets won the offseason and the Yankees won their offseason, right? So they both improved their team and they're both doing really, really well. That's when rivalry matchups are at their greatest. I am so looking forward to this weekend, because it's no fun playing your rival when they suck. Boston, I'm looking at you. Not this year, but in the past 5 years. It's been so boring, And when you play the Orioles this year, they're terrible. I mean, they're 9 games back. It's horrible. The Orioles are reeling. But I'm sure the Mets feel the same way, when the Phillies weren't good or something, and or the Phillies feel that way about the Mets, or the Braves feel that way. You know what I mean? Everybody feels that way. But this weekend, the Mets are good. The Yankees are good. They're both headed toward the postseason, knock on wood. So this is a great, plus we have all the Juan Soto drama. Plus, we have the Klay Holmes drama, although he's not slated to pitch versus us. Did you hear this?
Yeah.
And Keith was like, oh, he don't want that smoke. Did you see that? But what I want to say about Klay Holmes is I'm not that shocked that he's having success, because we always said that he was a good pitcher. What we said was he's not a closer. And that's what we were all screaming from the rafters last season when he tied the all-time franchise record of blown saves. And they kept rolling him out there with a ground ball contact pitcher with poor infield defense behind him, and we were all traumatized. And Boone refused to move him off of the closer spot. We were all begging for it. And when he finally did down the stretch, he moved Klay Holmes out of the closer spot, he put Weaver in. We started having success. Klay Holmes started stacking back-to-back good outings. And then in the postseason, we know Klay Holmes pitched really well for the Yankees. Not in the closer role, but in a more, mid to high leverage relief role, he pitched well. Now, he has good stuff. We always knew this, but he's not a closer. And after the season he had last year, he needed a change of scenery, I think. So good for him, good for Klay Holmes, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how I feel about Klay Holmes. Heck,
I just want to shout out my guy, Anthony Rivera, Subway to Shea. I will be on his channel this Sunday coming up to talk more Subway Series. I'm going to be at Yankee Stadium this Friday, this Saturday, covering the Subway Series for Latino sports. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram because I was on TikTok and people were hating on me when I was on TikTok. I got haters because people started mass reporting my TikTok live and it got taken down for a week. A bunch of haters out there, all you Boston Celtics fans. But like I said, follow me on Instagram. I will be going live on Instagram from the field, but I will be at the stadiums Friday and Saturday. If you're there, I'm going to be walking around taking some questions from any Yankees or any Met fans. Make sure you guys follow my guy, Anthony Rivera, Subway to Shea. And let me know if you're free. I'll send you the link. Erica as well. Let me know. I'll send it to you as well so you can join us in on the conversation. When it comes to Klay Holmes, I did see that. It was interesting. Shout out to Keith McPherson also, because I actually got the notification from him when he pointed out that Klay Holmes won't be pitching this weekend. But listen, when it's all said and done, and this is something that I've repeated with my guy Ant Rivera from Subway to Shea, with Theo Allen, friends with Anthony Gallo, Pete Kennedy. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi in the chat. When both teams are good, when the Yankees and Mets, when both teams are good, it makes the inner city rival just so much better. And when we talk about it, it makes it that this Subway Series coming up, I'm gonna bring it up when it comes to the pricing. This Subway Series coming up, it is the second highest or second most expensive ticket in Yankees history. It's $115, right? Kyle Zorn on Twitter, Mets at Yankee Stadium, the second most expensive regular season game on record at Yankee Stadium. And this is from TickPick, that app that takes out all the fees and everything like that. And it's still $115. The New York Knicks is $639. So it's going to be an expensive sports night in New York City if you're out and about. That's why I'm going to be in my house, minding my own damn business, watching it from the comfort of my living room.
Yeah. Not surprised. I mean, man, it is going to be a hot ticket in town. Everybody wants to be there, obviously. And the crowd is going to be rocking in the Garden and at Yankee Stadium. It's going to be a great weekend for sports. Can't wait. I'm going to go. There's a place down the street, a couple minutes from my house, that makes real New York style pizza. They're New Yorkers. It is amazing. I love it there. And I'm going to go get me a huge New York pizza. I'm going to settle my ass in on the couch and I'm going to watch some good sports all weekend. So I'm really excited.
Something that Erica put in the chat, and I want to bring this up. Erica says, I'm proud of Boone bringing in the Weave Dog yesterday after he pitched 2 innings the day before. Struck out the side. Luke Weaver was phenomenal to close out that game. Mm-hmm. Not only Luke Weaver, but Paul Goldmith pitch hitting and getting that home run. And something about Paul Goldmith, he's not a great pinch hitter in his career, but against lefties, he is phenomenal. And having that pinch hit home run right there, I think that was a good call by Aaron Boone. And like Erica said on the last show, it's a lot of Yankee fans who are quick to beat up on Aaron Boone when he gets a decision wrong. But when he gets a decision right, you got to give that man his flowers. And yesterday, he definitely deserved that. He was pushing all the right buttons.
Oh, my God. I just absolutely love Paul Goldschmidt. His post-game interview, in the locker room, like just the way he is, his temperament. I'm a huge Paul Goldschmidt fan. I wanted to know. I messaged Nosebleed on X. I'm
Shout
like,
out to you on Nosebleed.
yeah. Is there a chance we could sign if he keeps having this season like he's having this year? Is there a chance we sign him for another 1 year? I mean, what are we gonna do? He is amazing, and I have his numbers right here. Thanks for asking.
Read them off.
346 batting average.
No, go ahead.
395 OBP. 506 slug. 902 OPS. 154 OPS plus. That's 37-year-old. Just so you know, 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt.
The guy that everybody said was washed. The guy that everybody said, and I'm guilty of it as well, Grace, because when we was having the off-season conversations, I was bringing up how I wanted Carlos Santana, not Paul Goldsmith. I brought up Carlos Santana because he won a Gold Glove. He's a switch hitter as well, as more of a versatility to the lineup than a right-handed hitter, Paul Goldsmith. I'm proven wrong because Paul Goldsmith is having a hell of a season, especially when you compare in comparison to Carlos Santana. Erica in the chat talking about the pizza by you. She said, I refuse to believe it tastes the same. It's all about the water. Really, that's one thing that I've learned. I actually know some pizzerias like in Florida and in Chicago and in Philadelphia as well. They import New York City tap water because there's something about the tap water and the yeast when it combines. I don't know. I just think it's all the dead mobsters at the bottom of the Hudson River that adds that extra flavor to it. But that's just me. I'm a little bit weird. But back to the conversation. Talking about the decisions that Aaron Boone made, I think it was phenomenal. The way that Aaron Boone has handled the bullpen so far has been amazing. I know our starting rotations has its ups and downs. We're seeing a different version of Will Warren. I know Carlos Rodon had a rough outing his last time out against Oakland. That was more on errors than anything else. That's my explanation for it. But this upcoming series, you got Max Fried pitching for the Yankees, and I think Carlos Rodon is pitching for the Yankees as well, if I'm not mistaken. Will Warren last night, 9 strikeouts from Will Warren. What was your thoughts on the Yankees starter?
He is, and y'all, this is what I've been saying. He wasn't supposed to be up this year.
All right, go ahead.
It was supposed to be Cole, Fried, Heel, Rodon, Schmidt. Warren was supposed to be in that little incubator, still cooking, still getting that seasoning, okay? So he is a little bit in over his head at the beginning of the year. But this is what I want to say about Will Warren. He's been growing. He's been learning. He's been improving. Now he has had back-to-back good starts. He was improving on his curveball to lefties, which Meredith brought up to him. And he was like, yeah, that's something I've really been working on. You could see the progress. That's all you can ask from a rookie. That's all you can ask from a rookie. That they're growing, improving, getting better, that they're on the right trajectory. Extremely rarely is a rookie going to come in and just be, aces right out of the gate. That is an anomaly. That is a rarity. Okay. But Warren is giving you everything that you could want out of a rookie pitcher who got called in early to be the 5th starter. He's keeping you in games. Yesterday, 0 earned runs, I think. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it was 0 earned runs. 9 strikeouts. I mean, they said that Boone and the pitching staff talked to him and they were like, stop trying to calibrate yourself to go deep in games, because I think that was the narrative around Will Warren for a while, and something that he wanted to bust, right? He wanted to bust the narrative that I can't go deep into games, blah, blah, blah. So when he was pitching to conserve. And Boone and the staff told him, no, don't do that anymore. Pitch to get a strikeout. Pitch to get whiffs. Pitch to put the batter away. Don't worry about how deep you're going to go in the game. And then miraculously, after he made that adjustment, he started being a little more aggressive. He started getting count leverage, and doing a little bit better. So we're seeing a lot of improvements with Will Warren. If the fan base can just be a little bit patient. Obviously now Will Warren's bought himself some respect and some time, I want to believe. But he keeps going this way, we're going to have a great pitcher on our hands. And he's a 5th starter. You can't,
His stat line from last night's game: 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs allowed, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He only threw 92 pitches, but I gotta agree with you. Will Warren, a lot of people want to talk about the Yankees developing starting pitching. Clark Schmidt was awesome his last time out. Will Warren was awesome his last time out. We have Luis Hill, who's coming back. That's something that Grace wanted to talk about. We have guys that are coming back. So those are 3 starting pitchers. If you add Luis Hill into that conversation, that the Yankees develop. Luis Hill won Rookie of the Year last year, right? When you look at Clark Schmidt, when you look at Will Warren, look at their last few starts, they've been a lot better than their previous starts in the beginning. And Stephen B just pointed something out, and Merck's so saucy as well. Going back to last year's trade for Juan Soto and Grisham, 2 out of the 4 pitchers that the Yankees sent over had Tommy John surgery, right? Talking about Johnny Brito and Drew Thorpe, both of them Tommy John surgery, right? We don't wish injuries on anybody, but that's something to point out, that the Yankees dodged the bullet when it comes to that. Shout out to Merck So Saucy that's in the chat. I appreciate you, brother. But there was a tweet that you had sent me, Grace, that I just want to bring up real quick so we could talk about. It's from Bobby Malone, and talking about people who will be coming back for the New York Yankees. You got Luis Hill, Jonathan Loizaga coming back, Clayton Beater, Scott Efros, Jazz Chisholm, and John Carlos Stanton. I do not want to be Aaron Boone when Stanton comes back. He is going to have some tough decisions to make. You saw Ben Rice at first base yesterday. It was a little bit rocky. Had that one misplay. Him and DJ LeMahieu had that one misplay, but he was able to bounce back. What's your thoughts on that play from Ben Rice and the return of John Carlos Stanton and DJ LeMahieu, because he was in the game last night?
Yeah. It's just one of those situations, the first baseman, you got to know where your second baseman is playing, right? And that's just from routine and experience and reps that Ben Rice, he just hasn't had at first. I don't think he's super, super comfortable there, just because he hasn't played there for years. He's not a veteran first baseman. He's not I keep doing this with my hands. I got to stop. But, when that play was made, I was like, oh, yeah, that sucks. It's just one of those 1 in a million things that when you have the experience, you do it naturally. And Ben Rice doesn't have that experience. I like that DJ threw the ball over. Like, well, somebody's got to get this. Yeah. Somebody better catch this ball. And so, of course, he earned the throwing error because he threw the ball and no one was there. But I would have done the same thing as a second baseman. And that was my position when I played. I would have done the same thing. I would have said, I'm throwing it over there. Somebody make a play and get this guy out at first. Either the pitcher or the first baseman. One of y'all is going to have to dive or get this ball. And he did, and they didn't get it. Obviously, we know how it ended. And, of course, DJ gets the throwing error, but it wasn't really his fault. But, yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. And that's what I'm saying about Ben Rice. He's not stepping up on the defensive side of the ball to earn a spot to where Boone can say, oh, thank God, I'll put Ben Rice here when Giancarlo comes back. I'll give him reps here when Giancarlo comes back. He's not doing that. Right now, I really believe the Yankees only value his bat. And that's a problem when Giancarlo Stanton comes back. So...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because when Giancarlo Stanton comes back, he's not going to immediately be the Giancarlo Stanton we saw in the postseason. It takes Giancarlo Stanton a couple of weeks to get back into it, 2 or 3 weeks. My only concerns is, and people in the chat, let me know if you guys understand what I'm saying. My only concerns is, what is going to be the leash that the Yankees give to Giancarlo Stanton? How long would they let him go out there? And if he has back-to-back games going 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4 with some strikeouts, how long do you ride Giancarlo Stanton before having to put Ben Rice in there? Because when you look at the lineup, the Yankees have the number one lineup, the number one offense in Major League Baseball. And that's not because of Giancarlo Stanton. That's because Ben Rice is the DH and is in that top of the lineup. When you look at the top 4 hitters with the New York Yankees, or top 5 hitters now with the New York Yankees, you got Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and you have Ben Rice. Those are the top 5 hitters in our lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how Aaron Boone navigates trying to implement or fit Giancarlo Stanton into that equation. Shout out to my guy, Caleb Vasquez, in the building. Caleb, how you doing, my guy?
They're not just using the DH spot for Ben Rice either. They've been using it to allow Jason Dominguez to still have his bat in the lineup when Trent Grisham and Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge are in the outfield.
Who, Grace? Who?
Jason Dominguez. Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, they've been using it to get all 4 outfielders bats in the lineup. Whether they DH Jason Dominguez, whether they DH Trent Grisham, whether they DH, Aaron Judge or whatever, that has been a way that they have been able to get all 4 of those bats in the lineup. Or obviously, like you were saying, using Ben Rice's bat in the lineup, or giving Goldie a day off his feet, giving Aaron Judge a day off his feet, all the stuff. They've been able to use that position in so many different ways that's going to disappear when Stanton comes back. So it's really going to be, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be that Backstreet. It's going to be that song. It's gonna be.
I was about to say that. It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be interesting. Shout out to Merc So Saucy that put that in the chat. That Jazz Chisholm has started swinging off of a soft tee, not taking any hard, just very soft wiffle type of thing. But that's a good sign that we will be getting Jazz Chisholm back as well. Listen. When it comes to DJ LeMahieu, Erica put it in the chat. He lifted the ball in the air and he got a hit, which is a good sign from DJ LeMahieu. It was a good sign that DJ LeMahieu was able to lift the ball, get it out of the infield, get a hit, and as well play some nimble and solid first base. Second base. It was solid to see him being able to move back and forth. I know he had that error, but that's a good sign from DJ LeMahieu. When you have all these injuries, you're trying to get whatever you can. You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. If we can catch lightning in a bottle with DJ LeMahieu 3-4 days out of the week that he plays, because he's not an everyday player at this stage of his career, I'll take it. He gives you better than what we're getting out there. It gives you better production than what we're getting out of Pablo Reyes. No shade to Mr. Pablo Reyes, but when Jazz Chisholm comes back, somebody's going to be cut, and he's probably the odd man looking in. But I want to touch some more of the chat. Caleb Vasquez said the vibes in the stadium tomorrow, especially with the Knicks game 6, is going to be something I've never experienced, and I cannot wait. No, I'm 100% with you. Like I said, I'll be at the stadium. Me and Caleb will be in the Toyota Terrace doing some interviews, getting some questions from some Yankees and some Met fans. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys follow us. And if you're in the stadium, run down on me or run down on Caleb. Devin Williams. Grace, what's your thoughts on Devin Williams in his last few? He's been solid. He hasn't been lights out, but he's been solid and he's been serviceable in his last few outings. What do you take of it?
Here's my take on it. I like what I've been seeing from him lately in the role that he's been in. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to say. He's been improving. He's been doing his job, and I've been seeing his confidence. His kind of, I've been talking about this a lot. His bond with his teammates. I'm seeing the bond with the teammates coming around a little bit, and I love to see that. But that being said, I like him in the role he's in now. I'm really, really happy with Luke Weaver in the closing role. For right now, it's all working. It's all good. Like, why are we going to, I don't know. I've talked about this before. The advantage of not having Luke Weaver as a designated closer, right, is you can utilize him in different high leverage situations throughout the game, and he could maybe even pitch more than one inning, right? But that being said, we don't owe Devin Williams the closer role. Just because we traded for him and he was a closer for the Milwaukee Brewers doesn't mean that we owe him that role on the New York Yankees. We owe that role to whoever's pitching the best to close out the games, to win the games for the fans. That's who they owe the role to. And Luke Weaver is absolutely stone cold hunting wins with a hunger on that pitcher's mound in the 9th inning. That's what I want. So for me, I'm really happy with Devin Williams right now in a setup role. I like how they brought him in the 10th the other night to get the hold, and he did his job. That was great. Like, I use him as a 1A closer, right? Use him in other situations. That's what I think as of right now, anyway. We don't owe him that role.
If you look at Devin Williams' last 7 appearances, the only time he's given up a run was against the Padres when he allowed those 3 runs to score when we lost that game. But outside of that, he's been throwing up zeros against the Mariners. May 13th, 1 inning pitch, zeros against the Mariners. Once on the 12th, he pitched a third of an inning, zeros against the Padres. May 7th, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, zeros across the board. Against the Rays, the Orioles as well, zeros. It was just that one blemish against the Padres where he gave up 3 runs. And I agree with you, Grace. You give that title or you give that position to the person who deserves it and who has been pitching his butt off. And that has been Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver has been phenomenal. What it goes to show you is that if Devin Williams can just figure it out, it just makes the bullpen a lot more dangerous. It allows Aaron Boone to navigate the games differently. Because if you have a scenario where you could bring in Luke Weaver to pitch you the 8th, that 9th inning in a tie game. If we go to extra innings, you have Devin Williams who could pitch 1 inning or 2 innings that can extend it in extra innings. It just allows Aaron Boone to navigate the bullpen. And when you add in Jonathan Loaisiga coming back, when you add in Fernando Cruz and how phenomenal he has been, yes. The Yankees, to me, on paper, have potentially the best bullpen in all of Major League Baseball. And my guy, Caleb Vasquez, with the $4.99 super chat, appreciate you. If you at Yankee Stadium tomorrow, come find me and Hector as well. We'll be doing interviews. Let's go, Yankees. Absolutely. Shout out to my guy, Caleb Vasquez. Shout out to Jose Medina in the building. Go ahead, Grace.
It was big to see Cruz have a great outing yesterday because the outing before was a little shaky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was when we don't need to rehash that. But yesterday, the splitter was back, baby. It was making people look dumb. And we love to see it. So, yeah, it was really good to see Fernando Cruz get back and show everybody, no, nothing to see here. Mm-hmm. I'm still good. So that was great. I absolutely love him. I love his attitude. I love his post-game interviews. I love his stuff is absolutely disgusting. And I feel comfortable with him on the mound. And that is so amazing to feel from a pitcher who's new to the team. You know, Hamilton had a pretty good outing, which it's been a while since I've seen him have a solid outing, I feel like. I've been really worried about him because he hadn't looked the same since he came back from injury. But he had a pretty good outing, so hopefully he can build on that. Obviously, Jonathan Loaisiga coming back is huge. You know how I feel about Jonathan Loaisiga, Hector. I absolutely love J-Lo so much. I cannot wait for him to come back. I'm like counting down the days. Absolutely. So, we got some reinforcements coming, and the pitching, is heating up. We love to see it. So,
listen, this weekend in New York City, it's going to be amazing. Because you have the Yankees, you have the Knicks, you have the Mets. And this is something that, as a New York sports fan, you don't get to experience this in your lifetime as much. This is the first time that on May 15th, we're going into a Subway Series where not only will you have the New York Yankees and the New York Mets both being at the top of their leagues when you talk about the American and the National League. But on top of it, you got the New York Knicks 1 win away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is something that in my lifetime as being a sports fan, I have not witnessed. I have not been involved. So if you're in New York, if you're outside of New York, Grace, you're all the way where you're at and you know where. I'm not going to mention it, right? But you know where you're at, right? You're a Texas girl. You're down there. You're far away, but even you are getting to enjoy this. Guys, when we was backstage, Grace was talking about, can you believe those referees last night, that Knicks game? Oh, they blow it, Jalen Brunson and those 5 fouls. That was Grace. And she's not even a Knicks fan, my guy. She's not a Knicks fan, y'all. But everybody is enjoying this time. Sorry, Grace, I had to put you on blast. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's true. I'm like, I asked Hector, am I a Knicks fan now? Because it's the day after they lost and I'm bitching about the refs and I'm brokenhearted because I thought they were going to win. And Hector goes, welcome to being a Knicks fan. I'm like, okay, because that's last night it was some BS, y'all. And I was screaming at the TV like I grew up a Knicks fan. And I'm not even a Knicks. I looked at my husband at one point. I said, I'm not even a Knicks fan. Like, why am I screaming? But yeah, hopefully they can get it done. It's got to be in the next game. Don't let it go to game 7 for real, for real.
I want to shout out Joe El Consigliere with the $10 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. He says, Uptown Sports TV, one of the best channels on YouTube. Listen, there's a lot of different Yankee content creators. There's a lot of different sports content creators that are out there. There's enough views. There's enough clicks. There's enough subscribers for all of us to be able to enjoy. I appreciate Joel. I appreciate all the different Yankee communities that are out there. Whether you're with our guy, Joe Caputo from The Shift, whether you're with our guy, Jason 161 River Ave, whether you're with the Foul Territory guys, whether you're with the guys at NYY Underground, there's enough content out there for everybody. If you're with the folks at Empire State of Baseball, Fireside Yankees as well, there's enough content for all of us to be out there and all of us to enjoy and have these good conversations. Consigliere Joe, I appreciate you as well. Jose Medina just put something in the chat who says, this is my biased take on The Martian. The Martian is amongst leaders in AL rookie stats, and he has room to grow and been screwed by umpires on the third strike call way too much. He can improve. He's a rookie, but obviously the Martian is on fire. I added in that extra stuff because I'm just guessing that's what he means with the emojis. But yeah, Grace, go ahead. The floor is yours. Talk about your son, Jason Dominguez.
So I know that Booney is trying to improve on his getting thrown out. He's trying to not get thrown out and not get tossed as much. He's been open about this. When Jazz Chisholm got ejected, I was on here and I was saying, I wish Boone had stepped in and kept Jazz from getting thrown out. I thought Boone should have protected him a little bit more. We watched the video again, and I said, okay, well, you can see he kind of tried to protect him a little bit, so maybe I overreacted a little bit. Cut to Jason Dominguez with that low strike call, which was clearly below his knees, okay? And Jason, the nicest, most chill guy, threw his arms up and he's swinging his bat around. He gets back in the ump's face, and I was like, oh my God. Aaron Boone out of the dugout with the quickness, got tossed right away, and he comes up, puts his hand on Jason's back, moves Jason back like, I got this, kid. He got in the ump's face. It was one of the best Aaron Boone injections that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. I'm waiting for the John Boy breakdown that's coming because it was intense. And he did it all to protect Jason Dominguez. If Aaron Boone did not believe in Jason Dominguez, if he did not want Jason Dominguez to know that not only does he have his back, but the team has his back, and you matter to the New York Yankees, you matter to us, I'm going to fall on my sword for you. That's what Aaron Boone did. It was such a big moment. I want Jason Dominguez to realize what it meant for Aaron Boone to come out and protect him so adamantly. It was a beautiful thing to see. A beautiful thing. So yeah, Jason Dominguez, he is getting more and more respect. He's on a track, y'all. And trust me, once he gets more at bats, y'all, he's gonna go off. He's gonna get even better.
You talking about this video clip?
Yes, please. I didn't see this. I didn't see you post this. Yeah, see?
And Aaron Boone's been ejected. The night's frustrations probably built up on both sides.
And like the person commented in my comment section, that's a manager. There's a manager. If you see it, Darrow in the chat right there in the comment section, there's a manager.
Exactly. Look at him. He's going crazy. That ump was way off all night. Both sides. He was making horrible calls.
And I got to say, Aaron Boone, he's pretty tall, right? He's pretty tall. So when Aaron Boone is looking at you like that, and his brim of his hat is like right there next to you, it's pretty intimidating. And like the person said, there's a manager. Shout out to my guy TC Stills in the chat. TC, I miss you, my guy. I didn't see you there. I have the other screen open. Shout out to TC Stills, who was in the building. TC says, Hector, my pops is in Atlantic City. You should go surprise him. TC, that's like a 3.5 hour drive for me, TC Stills. Me going to Atlantic City as a 3.5 hour. You know I drive fast. I don't think I drive that fast. But shout out to my guy TC Stills, and shout out to big time Jerry Cadill as well. Grace, I'm gonna toss it over to you. Let's get your thoughts. Anything rattling off in that brain of yours?
Anything rattling off? Hey, I want to give a little shout out to somebody who we haven't. I don't think we've been hard on him, but we've been watching him out of the side of our eye. And that's Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is on a 9-game hit streak. So, kind of like quietly under the radar, he's starting to string together some hits. He's starting to get some confidence. I noticed he made a little bit of an adjustment in the batter's box. Mm-hmm. He's not standing as straight up as he was at the beginning of the year. So I don't know if that's maybe him trying to break out of the rhythm or make a little adjustment to be able to get to some pitches or something. But I did notice his stance is a little different. He's starting to string together some hits. So hopefully Cody Bellinger will keep going on this trajectory, and we'll see him come into his full form here. That would be huge.
Cody Bellinger, since May 3rd, Cody Bellinger has risen his batting average from 198 to 229. So has been a 30-point improvement on his batting average. In that time, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11 hits over the past 2 weeks. Cody Bellinger is starting to turn it around. Got to see a little bit more oomph in that bat, a little bit more pop from Cody Bellinger. But Cody, with the way that Trent Grisham has been performing, right? If you flip those stats, if you tell me that that Cody Bellinger has 12 home runs, a 283 batting average, right? And you were to tell me that Trent Grisham has a 229 batting average with 21 RBIs, I would take that from Trent Grisham. And I'll take Cody Bellinger's stats that Trent Grisham are putting up. So when you look, it kind of pairs out and it kind of evens off. I just look for Cody Bellinger to start getting ready as he has gotten more comfortable with the New York Yankees. He has some time off because he had his back that was barking a little bit. I can see Cody Bellinger from May 15 on going into June start turning it on. You can see that batting average take a rise from 229, maybe get close to 250, maybe.
What's so important about that is that going through a long season, right? Teams go through slumps. Teams go through, the dog days of summer, however you want to say. And when you have so many people in your lineup contributing in a major way, when a couple of players, 2, even 3 players are going through a slump, the other guys are able to pick them up. That's the difference between having a team with depth and not having a team with depth. Having a team that's built on balance or having a team that's built around Aaron Judge, 2023, 2022. You know what I mean? This is what we have now. So I'm very interested to watch how the rest of the summer plays out and going into the fall, how this team navigates struggles, how they bounce back, how they keep going, and how they stack wins down the stretch. Because as we know, and I hate to even bring it up, I want to knock on wood, I hate to even bring it up. The last couple seasons, it's been stacking wins at the beginning of the year and then a steady trail off the rest of the season, right? I mean, our July, August numbers over the last couple years, even heading right into the end of the season, have been not as good. But we've been able to stack so many wins at the beginning of the season that nobody could catch us virtually. That's not the case this year. So even though we're 3 games up or whatever, and the Orioles are abysmal, even though we're 3 games up, going forward, we're going to have to keep it going. It's going to have to be a steady slow and steady wins the race, as opposed to get out to an early lead and then slowly let that lead go away as the season goes on.
For me, Grace, slow and steady wins the race, right? So right now in the AL East, let me just get the standings real quick. AL East standings in Major League Baseball for 2025. The New York Yankees, we are 3.5 up on the Blue Jays, 4 games up on the Red Sox, the 5.5 games up on the Rays, and 9 games up on the Baltimore Orioles. And you're like, why are you bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because the New York Yankees are the only team in our division that has a record over 500. And to Grace's point, right? Yes, we want to be able to get into the postseason. But at the same time, I do not want the Yankees to become complacent, right? And not be ready for the big moments. So yes, it's nice to have this much of a lead, Grace, but I don't want the lead to balloon and get that big of a lead that the Yankees start trying to coast. This is not the 1998 team, right? We're not going to win as many games as 1998, but I would like them, and I would like the rest of the divisions to start turning it up so we can have some type of competition. I'm not poo-pooing on the rest of the AL East, but reality is on May 15th, the New York Yankees are the only team in our division that is over 500.
Right. And we're not that far over 500, right? I mean, we're not like, we don't have like a Dodgers type record or,
No, we're 25 and 18 at the moment. So we're like 7 games over 500. When you look at the rest of the standings in Major League Baseball, the Mets are 28 and 16. The Dodgers are 28 and 15. So we're right there when it comes to the Mets and the Dodgers on having the second best record. We're literally tied with we're tied with the Phillies we're tied with the Phillies for the 3rd best record in all of Major League Baseball. No, the 4th best record in all of Major League Baseball.
I'm not happy that the Tigers have a better record than we do. I want to be the best record in the AL all the time. So I know we're number 1 in the AL East, but the AL East sucks this year. So
the Tigers are 29 and 15. So the Yankees are tied for 5th best record in all of Major League Baseball. I didn't see the Tigers there.
Yeah, which is not good enough to me. 5th, like I don't want to be 5th, but yeah, I get it. It's early, la 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 la. I get it. But that's my point. This team is not doing the old school stacking wins, blowing everybody, I mean, even though we're leading in all these offensive categories, I'm not complaining, y'all. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I feel like this team is built for a slow, steady, ride the waves all the way to the postseason. And I didn't feel that about the team last year or the year before or the year before. It was like flashy offense, home runs, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and then everybody else just is there, right? Or in 2023, it was like, you know what I mean? Like it was top heavy. And I don't feel like that this year. And that's a good thing.
I got a quote. This is from John Heyman's article. You guys know John Heyman. I'm keeping my comments to myself. This is what Juan Soto said. It's going to be 50,000 against 1. Talking about this weekend. This is what Juan Soto said. And you know what? You were absolutely right. It's going to be 50,000 against 1, Mr. Juan Soto. But no, like you said, Grace, sooner or later, the Yankees are going to go into a slump. That's just going to happen. It's Major League Baseball. Every team slumps at one point. You got to ask yourself, when do you want the slump to happen? At the beginning, middle, or end of the season going into the postseason? I want it to happen in the middle. Let the Yankees go on a slump so that way they could get out of it and get ready for the postseason. But a slump will happen. Paul Goldmith may slump for 2 weeks. Aaron Judge may slump for 2 weeks, right? But the difference between this team and last year's team, Grace, is if we do slump, if Aaron Judge goes in a slump, we got other guys that's stepping up. Last night, right? I want to bring this up, and you talked about it a little bit. Anthony Volpe, who a lot of Yankee fans love to shit on for some reason. Got to move Anthony Volpe, make him a second baseman. He's not a shortstop. Anthony Volpe got the offense going with a 2-out double. And what happened? Jason Dominguez drove him in. That right there is going to be key for the New York Yankees because we know the top of the lineup is going to perform, but they will struggle. Will Trent Grisham continue with a 280 batting average the rest of the season? I don't see it happening. He may fall down to a 250 or 260 batting average. His slump may come as well. When you have the middle of the lineup, the Anthony Volpes, the Jason Dominguez, the Austin Wells in game 1 against Seattle. When you have that middle of the lineup turning it on, it allows Aaron Judge, when he goes into a slump, it doesn't hurt the team as much. When Paul Goldschmidt goes into a slump, it doesn't hurt the team as much. Right. And seeing the rise of Jason Dominguez, because I saw somebody on TikTok saying that, oh, this is just, it was against the A's and, you know, whatever, it's just a blip on the radar. Jason Dominguez on May 15th looks like a different player than he did in spring training. And I know he got the beard, and I know Erica made the joke in the chat the other day about how he's proof that some people look better with a beard. I understand that. But Jason Dominguez, the confidence, he looks like a different player on May 15 as compared to spring training and the beginning of the season.
The Athletics are only one game out of first place in the AL West. So first of all, put some respect on what the Athletics are doing out there on the West Coast. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I mean, Jason Dominguez, it was against the Athletics, but he also had a big RBI hit last night. And we don't win that game if it's not for Jason Dominguez. We don't win that game. That was the first run of the game. And then, of course, we had Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, he is, like I told you, as dependable as a clock. He comes up there, ties up the game, and then Mr. Captain Aaron Judge hit the go-ahead run. So, but Jason Dominguez was the beginning, and he also is the one who started the rally the last time we had that comeback rally. Remember? He is a huge part of this lineup, huge part of the middle of the order. Getting Jazz Chisholm back again will be a big addition to the middle of the order. But yeah, when you have more bats going, you're not slump proof, but you're more slump proof. When you have so many people. Look at 2023, what happened when Aaron Judge went down. God forbid, that freaking wall in Dodger Stadium. And what happened? The whole team forgot how to play baseball. Aaron Judge was gone, and we lost. I mean, y'all know what happened. Y'all were there. So it doesn't feel like that this year. So I'm really, really happy to see that. Jason Dominguez is a great, great kid. I can't say enough about him. Y'all know how I feel about him. His discipline, I mean, y'all, he's a rookie. We're only going to see it improve.
And get better and better and better and better. And he's 22. He's 20. Amazing. He's a baby. He's a baby.
I love him so much. I love him. I just love him. So, yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. I love what I'm seeing out of Jason Dominguez, out of the Martian. It's phenomenal. Another thing that I want to bring up, going into the Subway Series, you know, where both teams are at right now. I know we touched on it a little bit or whatever, but where both teams are at right now, and when you look at the standings in Major League Baseball, the Yankees 25-18, the Detroit Tigers 29-15, and the Seattle Mariners 23-19. And when you look at that AL West is stacked, because you brought it up. The Athletics are in 4th place at 22-21. If the Athletics were in the American League East, they'll be in 2nd place. They'll be in 2nd place. So you got to put some respect on what they're doing right now. Now, when it comes to possible trades, right? And this is why I brought up the Athletics.
I was like, sorry. Let me just say real quick to defend myself. I looked at the game. I looked at before the end of the games yesterday, and they were only one game out, I'm pretty sure, of 1st place. But then I think the Rangers won last night and some other stuff. But anyway, sorry. Just to defend myself.
No, it is. They're 1.5 games. So you're right. They're 1.5 game out of 1st place in the AL West, but the AL West is just so stacked. And I bring them up because they were talking on John Boy about trading for Miguel Andujar, who's a right-handed bat who could play third base, who could play left field. Grace, what's your thoughts on the Yankees reuniting with former baby bomber Miguel Andujar?
I love him. And what I wanted to say about him was every single person who's ever been a teammate of Miguel Andujar has said the same thing, which is he's so, so, so nice. Such a great guy and patient guy. And whenever, you know, am I talking about the right guy? Yeah, I'm talking about the right guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the right guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, like, my time will come, and just like trusting in God and trusting in his journey. And now he's got the chance and he's making the most of it. He's having a great season out there. So I'm happy for him. I wouldn't hate a reunion with him, but I don't see why the A's would trade him. You know, because they're almost in first place in their division. And he costs nothing. So why would they trade him? I don't know.
I would, like TC said, I wouldn't mind Andujar or Yohan Moncado. More Moncado just because he's a switch hitter, a better defender than Andujar. I know Andujar offensive numbers, they look good, but I definitely feel playing in a AAA ballpark in Sacramento is helping with those home runs. If they were in a major league ballpark that didn't have the wind tunnels that they have over there in Sacramento, I think those numbers would not be looking as they are right now. So I definitely think where they're playing in Sacramento are inflating those numbers. So I'll be very wary when it comes to trading for a Gio Urshela, when it comes to trading for a Miguel Andujar. I wish them the best. Hopefully they could keep succeeding and they could shut me up. But if I had to put money down on it, I'd rather trade for Yohan Moncado just because our offense is awesome. We're not in desperate need to improve the offense. If we can improve it, absolutely, we welcome it. But if we can improve our infield defense, I think improving our infield defense is a lot more important than it comes to improving the offense and the lineup, just because of how well we have been producing from the offensive side of things.
Jazz Chisholm coming back will be huge for the infield defense. If DJ can give us literally any value, you know, you can have an infield defense that looks a lot better, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Brian Cashman's not tripping, y'all. He's like, we're in first place. We're in first place in our division. I'm not tripping. So don't think he's gonna go out there and make some big blockbuster trade for some hotshot third baseman. He's not. Spoiler alert, he's not. He's not that type of guy to get itchy and make a rash decision. That is not Brian Cashman. And I'm telling y'all right now, being in first place, he is not tripping.
Listen, I'm right there with you. If I'm Brian Cashman, I'm sitting back and I'm laughing at all you Yankee fans this offseason. All you Yankee fans that said, fire Cashman. Cashman doesn't know what he's doing. Brian Cashman, he's a product of nepotism. If George Steinbrenner was around, Brian Cashman would have been fired. Has Brian Cashman made some moves that have been questionable? Absolutely. I think one of the biggest ones that we could point to is the offseason with Bryce Harper and Manny Machado were free agents, right? But even when you talk about the Giancarlo Stanton trade, what we gave up for Giancarlo Stanton was peanuts. And he was coming off of an MVP season. Yes, he had injuries and he had injuries concerned, but I don't think anybody thought that these injuries would happen to Giancarlo Stanton, right? We knew he would have had some injuries. We knew he would have been regressing, but I don't think anybody thought it would have been like this. So even with the Giancarlo Stanton trade, what the Yankees gave up for him, just absorbing that money, was peanuts. Because has any of those players cracked an all-star team in the major leagues? No. Has any of those players that we traded for Giancarlo Stanton, have they even sniffed the postseason? No. So, yes, if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm sitting back and I'm laughing at all the Yankee fans that were complaining and say that I should be fired. Like I said, has he made some moves that were questionable? Absolutely. But when you look at flipping Jose Trevino for Fernando Cruz, that's not a move that you can laugh at. When it comes to flipping Cody Petit for Cody Bellinger, that's not a move you laugh at. When it comes to signing Paul Goldmith for $12 million, that's a move that you cheer. So every move that he has made this offseason has been money. Max Fried also. Go ahead, Grace. Sorry.
Signing Trent Grisham. When they signed Grisham, I feel like that was one of the first moves they made in the offseason. It might have been when we were at the winter meetings. And they signed him for what, like $5 or $6 million? Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, what are you doing? Why are we re-signing Trent Grisham? And don't lie, that's what everybody was saying. And don't come up in this chat and be like, oh, I wasn't saying that. Yes, you were. We were all saying that. We were all saying that. We were like, why is he, go out there and get Juan Soto? Why are you out there, making these moves right now and signing Trent Grisham and this and that? And now look. Trent Bonds. I mean, it's crazy. And obviously, we brought up Yarbrough and how big that move has been. And is he going to join the starting rotation until Heel comes back? Like we're kind of waiting to see. He made a spot start the other day and he did really well. we're going to see coming up. Now, the day off is kind of adjusted to rotation here. Coming up for the rivalry weekend, we have Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt slated to pitch against the Mets. So we're going to see where's Yarbrough, what's going to happen with him. But that move is looking coming up roses too.
I even forgot Ryan Yarbrough.
Yeah, and Carlos Carrasco, who came in, and I know what happened with him. But guess what? We ain't had nobody else. And when he signed him, he ended up being extremely useful. So, yeah, I mean, these moves, looking back, 9 times out of 10, you got to give Brian Cashman credit. I mean, it's crazy how it ends up coming true. Now, sometimes there's been bad moves, of course. And I'm thinking Josh Donaldson. I'm thinking Joey Gallo. I mean, these moves that we always harp on. But at some point, you have to blame the players.
Yeah.
For shit in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. But,
no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes when a trade is possible, us fans were like, trade away the prospects, trade the prospects away. And sometimes it works for you because sometimes the prospects you trade away, like the Giancarlo Stanton trade, they don't amount to anything.
Right.
But sometimes if you're the New York Mets and you trade for Javi Baez, you trade Pete Crow Armstrong, who is the best center fielder in all of Major League Baseball right now. A young talent, a young stud who is killing it, right? If you trade James Shield, you trade him for a young guy in Fernando Tatis Jr., who's a superstar with the San Diego Padres. So sometimes the trades work out for you because you give nothing, but sometimes the trades hurt and they set you back some years because you give up a young superstar who hasn't even scratched the ceiling. So when it comes to that, I bring that up to say over the past 6, 7, 8 years, we are fortunate that none of the young players we have given up has turned into superstars. We almost did that with Aaron Judge. We almost traded Aaron Judge away to the Atlanta Braves back in 2012. Yankee fans would have been calling for Brian Cashman's head if we would have made that move. And Aaron Judge is what he is right now. So just
100%.
Thank the baseball guys. Brian Cashman did not make that move. But Grace, you send me a text message. I'm gonna pull up the graphic that way you could explain it. Go ahead.
This is my last point. I wanted to make this as like my final thought, but anyway. So the other day when Aaron Judge hit his beautiful home run, his last beautiful home run, it was the hardest hit ball all season of Aaron Judge. 118 off the bat, 444 feet. That was last night. And I said, uh-oh, here he comes. He's getting hot. And everybody better watch out, right? So I went ahead and I did the math. How many home runs is he on pace to hit this season? Well, it's like, it depends on if you do it percentage-wise or just straight up numbers-wise. He could be on pace, depending, to hit about 60, 61 home runs, right? And I have this running joke with my husband where I make, I look up all these numbers and then I look at Trey and I go, is that good? And he's like, yes. So I'll be like, oh, his OPS is almost 1,300. Is that good? And we just joke about it. But let me tell you, this is what I sent you, Heck. Would it shock you to know, because it shocked me, this is a list of players who have hit 50 or more home runs in a season. How many times they've hit 50 or more home runs in a season. Now, this is a great way to quantify Aaron Judge's career because he started late. Like you always say, Heck, he started late. Now, Barry Bonds. How many times did Barry Bonds hit 50 or more home runs in a season? Would it shock you to know that he only did it one time?
And that was the year he hit 73.
That was the year he hit 73. He only did it one time. And he played 18 years in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge has done it 3 times already. And he's on pace to do it again. And if he does, he will tie the all-time best record with Sammy Sosa, juiced, Mark McGwire, juiced, and Babe Ruth. And then it will be Aaron James Judge. Those are the only players who will have done it 4 times. If he does it one more time, he will be the sole record holder of 50 or more home run seasons of all time. And he's got, 6 years left on his contract? 6 years left on his contract to do it. If he does it this year, which he's on pace to be well above 50, and then he does it one more time, we are looking at the best slugger of all time, percentage-wise, right? I'm not talking about all-time total numbers. I'm talking about percentage, because that's how you have to look at Aaron Judge. You have to look at Aaron Judge percentage-wise. He's not going to have 18 years in the league, okay? So if you look at percentage-wise, he is right there, Hector. I was like, I got to bring this up on the show. This shocked me to my core.
When you look at Aaron Judge, the stats that he has in his career, I'm just pulling them up real quick. Aaron Judge right now, he has 15 home runs on the season. For his career, he has 330 home runs. He got to 300 home runs and the least at bats in Major League history.
Cook.
The least at bats in Major League history. When you look at his stats that he has been putting up, Aaron Judge, if he keeps this going on for the next few years, if he has another two more 50 home run seasons, he would have the most 50 home run season than anyone else in Major League Baseball. The most 50 home run season. Aaron Judge, you got to put Aaron Judge is the best hitter of this generation that we're able to see. When you look at Major League Baseball, the average batting average across the league is down significantly. Aaron Judge is hitting over 400 with 15 home runs.
With what is this slug? Is almost an 800 slug. 782 slug with a over 412 batting average. 412 batting average.
He's leading the league in WAR at 3.6. He's leading the leagues in run score at 40. He is leading the lead in hits at 68. He is leading the lead in home runs with 15. He is leading with RBIs at 41. He has a 412 batting average, a 497 on base percentage, a 782 slugging, a 1.279 OPS, a 257 OPS slug. He is leading the league in all of those categories that I mentioned: total bases, ROBA, whatever the fuck that is, runs above batting average, or whatever that is, whatever the advanced analytics. He is leading the lead in all of those stats.
Yeah. And look, Hank Aaron, right? Shout out to Hank Aaron. I mean, more people need to be talking about Hank Aaron. I absolutely love him. He played forever. He had these huge numbers, right? By the time he finished, you're talking about all-time home run, leaderboard and all this stuff. But he never did what Aaron Judge has done. Willie Mays, another guy. A lot of people consider him the greatest of all time. He had a massive career. He did it for 20 years. Okay, we're talking about. This is crazy how long he had of his career. Barry Bonds had a long career. Hank Aaron, long career. All these guys. Aaron Judge is not going to have that. Period. He's just not. He's never going to have an 18-year career. It's not going to happen. Okay. So you can't stack just total numbers versus total numbers. But if you take, like you said, Heck, if you take percentage-wise what he's done in his career versus percentage-wise what other people have done, he blows everybody out of the water. He reached 300 home runs before anyone else in the league, everyone else in history, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. He smoked the record. He's going to smoke 50 home run season record. Promise you. That's what we're watching.
Eddie Snaps just put something in the chat who says, remember 2 years ago when the Blue Jays accused Judge for stealing signs before hitting a monster home run? Absolutely. Aaron Judge does not need to steal signs. I think those accusations of Aaron Judge stealing signs are over because nobody is saying it nowadays. What's your thoughts, Grace?
Remember after he got accused and then the next time he came up to bat, I think it was the next day, he hit a home run and then he went like this as he was crossing home plate, covered his eyes. Just a fucking G. I swear. Y'all, what we're watching is crazy. Plus the 412 batting average. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what we're watching.
It's again, he's on another level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember in my lifetime a player that has performed at this level the way that Aaron Judge has, but I just gotta say, we are not worthy. We are not worthy. Again, Yankee fans, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are sitting at 5,243 new subscribers. We appreciate the 2 new subscribers that joined us while we've been live. If you're watching us on Instagram, click the link in the bio, jump on over. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Grace, any last thoughts before we get ready to wrap the show and get up out of here?
Last thoughts. All right. This weekend is not going to be easy. All right. We need to, everybody who's going to the game, support the team. I know everybody's going to boo Juan Soto and whatever. That's your choice. Do whatever you're going to do. Okay. But support our team, cheer for our guys. Obviously looking to hear any news about Oswaldo. But this is a big weekend, and it's not going to be easy. The Mets are a good team, and we're going to be facing some good pitching. And a lot of the pitchers we're going to be seeing for the first time, which is always tough for any team. So let's go Yankees. We can win this series. I would be shocked if we swept, but we can win the series. We're going to have to fight. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be fun. It's going to be what baseball is all about. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm right there with you. I'm trying to find, I saw this video up right here. So I have this video about the Subway series that I wanted to share. I found it like on TikTok. Let me just bring it up real quick because the vibes.
Yeah.
The vibes, Grace, the vibes that's going to happen. Let me start this over. The vibes, Grace. The Subway series.
I know it's about time and the Yankees will win. The Yankees are up against.
Yeah, they can light it up. I don't care. Burn them down.
With a chorus for less than 7. Give them the ticket tape parade.
2 New York Titans flashing in October. It took 44 years, but the Subway Series is back.
I was back. Damn, she was home. Now money ain't a problem. See my dog.
Hey, Smith, you on the phone. I need you from that. My entire team sucks.
I love New Yorkers. Oh, it's going to be like postseason. It's going to
New
be
Yorkers,
like postseason.
New Yorkers are, look.
Yo, we in the Bronx right now. They just want to be talking about the Bronx.
All right, that's way too loud. But anywho, that's how it's going to be this weekend. Look, Ness said, ooh, goosebumps. Yeah, that gave me goosebumps,
Me
Ness.
too,
When I first saw that for the first time, that gave me a little bit of goosebumps. I'm not going to even lie. Which one was this one? All right, hold on. I'll put this on right now. I know we're going to get hit with copyright on YouTube. I don't care.
Do you know New York?
Oh.
The Red Sox! And fuck the Mets! Place is a dump! I'm never coming back there ever again!
Not Grimace.
It's going
to be awesome.
Oh, man.
I'm super jealous of you, Hector. I'm super jealous. You know how I am. I just stay jealous of you all the time out here in Texas. But yeah, everybody going to the stadium, y'all. Please, post all the videos. Tag me, send me everything.
Oh, I'm gonna be sending you photos. I'm gonna be FaceTiming you from out there. Make sure you answer your phone because I FaceTimed you last time when I was with Erica and you sent me straight to voicemail. But no, I know you was busy. No, but all I want to say is if you're a Yankee fan and if you're a Met fan, if you're going to go to the stadium, if you go to watch the games, wherever you're at, just go out there and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. All that shenanigans, all that extra stuff, leave that at home. We should just go out there and have a good time. There should be no reason why Yankee fans and Met fans are fighting at the stadium. There should be no reason why, if you're a Celtic fan, Knicks fans and Celtic fans should not be fighting outside of Madison Square Garden, regardless of what happens during the series with the Celtics. I love to preach. Everybody go out there, have a good time. Don't look for violence. We don't need that. It's 2025. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's out there in the world. Do not add to it. That's my last message for all you beautiful people in the chat.
That's it. Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Let's shout out the chat before we get out of here. My guy Caleb Vasquez, Yankees in 3, absolutely. Jose Medina, I appreciate you. Anthony Rivera, who says, Hector, no fear for the Mets. We are the New York Yankees. The toast to the towel. Let's make it about Aaron Judge. Let's forget Juan Soto and the Mets fans BS. Yankees rules forever. Absolutely. Merc So Saucy, I appreciate you. TC Still, salute to you. The 8th Avenue, what it do? Jason Custodio, Stephen B, we appreciate all of you guys. And until next time, I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
And this is the Yankees
Morning Brew.
And we will be back this Tuesday. And until next time, drink your water, stay hydrated, say something positive about yourself. We love you out there. Deuces.
Fuck the Mets.
Fuck the Mets.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.